The clock of destiny is ticking toward a final midnight as the year 2026 approaches with a shadow that stretches across the entire globe, threatening to undo everything we have ever known. Ancient whispers and modern signals are converging into a singular, terrifying point in time where the old world must die so that a new and unrecognizable era can finally be born from the ashes. We stand at the precipice of a great reset, a moment foretold by mystics and feared by kings, where the very fabric of human civilization is being pulled apart by forces beyond our control. Is humanity facing its final judgment? Or is this the beginning of a transformation so profound that we will no longer recognize ourselves when the smoke finally clears from the horizon of 2026? The signs are everywhere for those who have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, etched into the stars above and written in the frantic headlines of our crumbling daily reality. From the return of a political titan to the arrival of visitors from the deep cosmos, the stage is being set for a drama that has been in the making for thousands of years. Look to the east, where the fires of conflict are beginning to smolder, and look to the west, where the foundations of once mighty empires are cracking under the weight of their own hubris. The year 2026 is not just another date on the calendar. It is a spiritual and geopolitical gateway that will determine if our species continues to thrive or fades into a tragic memory. Centuries ago, the blind mystic Baba Vanga looked into the darkness of the future and saw a world engulfed in flames, specifically pointing to 2026 as the year the Great War begins. She spoke of a conflict that would start small but grow into a global inferno, fueled by ancient hatreds and modern technologies that the world is simply not prepared to handle or survive. Her visions described a shift in power where the old guards of the West would fall, and a new, formidable force from the East would rise to claim the throne of the world. But Vanga was not alone in her dark contemplations, as the legendary Nostradamus also penned quatrains that seemed to vibrate with the chaotic energy of our current, crumbling, and uncertain world. He wrote of a swarm of bees that would emerge in the darkness, a metaphor many believe represents a hive mind of technology or a massive movement of people seeking refuge from disaster. His verses mention a time of rebirth preceded by a period of blood and fire, where the very elements of nature would turn against the inhabitants of the earth in a final cleansing. In his cryptic lines, he spoke of a great leader who would rise again, a man associated with the eagle and the gold, whose actions would split the world into two warring factions. Could this be the return of Donald Trump, a figure who has dominated the global stage and who many believe is a catalyst for the prophesied events that are now rapidly unfolding? As we enter 2026, Trump stands at the center of a storm, invoking ancient laws like the Alien Enemies Act to reshape the very definition of national sovereignty and human rights. The name of the act alone sends shivers down the spine, sounding more like a script from a science fiction movie than a piece of legislation from the 18th century's dusty archives. But the word alien carries a double meaning in this era of disclosure, where the government is finally admitting that we are not alone in this vast and silent celestial ocean. While the political world focuses on borders and treaties, the heavens are screaming with the arrival of 3-ATLAS, an interstellar visitor that has scientists baffled and conspiracy theorists in a frenzy. This massive object, traveling through the void from a distant star system, is whispered by some to be the colossal spacecraft that Baba Vanga predicted would enter our atmosphere in 2026. Is it a mere comet, a relic of a dead world, or is it a scout ship sent to observe a planet that is currently on the brink of a self-inflicted and total nuclear annihilation? The Pentagon's own reports on unidentified aerial phenomena have laid the groundwork for a revelation that will shatter every religious and scientific paradigm that humanity has clung to for millennia. Imagine the shock to the global system when the aliens are no longer a theory, but a physical presence that demands a seat at the table of our dying and fractured world order. This contact would represent the ultimate reset, a moment where the trivial squabbles of nations would vanish in the face of a cosmic reality that dwarfs our entire history of petty wars. Yet, even as we look to the stars, the drums of war on Earth are beating louder than they have in 80 years, echoing the dark prophecies of a third global conflict. The doomsday clock has moved to its most dangerous position yet, hovering just seconds away from a midnight that represents the end of the human experiment in a flash of light. Tensions between the great powers of the East and West have reached a breaking point, with the lines of communication failing and the rhetoric of destruction becoming the new and terrifying normal. The prophecy of a 7-month war mentioned by ancient seers seems more plausible now than ever, as modern weapons can deliver more death in minutes than ancient armies could in decades. We are witnessing the third nuclear era, a time when the old balance of power has dissolved into a chaotic scramble for dominance in a world that is running out of resources. The economic systems that have sustained us are also showing signs of a terminal illness, with inflation and debt reaching levels that suggest a total collapse is not just possible, but inevitable. Nostradamus spoke of the loss of light in the West, which many interpret as the decline of the American dollar and the end of the economic hegemony that has ruled since World War II. In its place, a digital god is rising, an artificial intelligence that Baba Vanga warned would eventually take control of human decision-making and lead us into a cold and calculated future. By 2026, AI will no longer be a tool we use, but an environment we live in, an invisible force that manages our lives, our finances, and perhaps even our very thoughts and desires. This is the ultimate reset, the merging of man and machine in a way that fulfills the ancient warnings of a world where the soul is traded for the convenience of a digital utopia. Is the rise of AI the great deceiver mentioned in holy texts, a power that promises peace and prosperity but delivers a total loss of human freedom and individual spiritual connection? As these external pressures mount, the United States approaches its 250th anniversary in July 2026, a milestone that many believe marks the completion of a grand and mysterious historical cycle. The America 250 celebrations are meant to be a salute to independence, but they may also be a funeral for the Republic as it was originally conceived by the Founding Fathers' vision. Prophecy suggests that the eagle will undergo a transformation during this year, shedding its old feathers in a painful process of rebirth that will leave the nation changed forever. Donald Trump's role in this milestone cannot be understated, as he views himself as the restorer of a lost greatness, a leader who will lead the people back to the source. But the path to restoration is often paved with conflict, and the salute to America may take place against a backdrop of civil unrest and global instability that tests the nation's soul. The world in 2026 will be a crucible, a place where the old ways are burned away to reveal the true nature of humanity and the path we must take to survive. Natural disasters are also predicted to peak during this year, with the Earth herself rebelling against the industrial scars that have been carved into her surface by centuries of human greed. Angus spoke of massive earthquakes and floods that would reshape the map, forcing millions to flee their homes and seek refuge in lands that are already struggling to survive. This is the reset of the Earth, a natural balancing act that has occurred many times in the deep past and is destined to happen again as the cycles of time turn. We are not just observers of this history. We are the participants in a cosmic drama that has reached its final and most intense act before the curtain falls on our era. The warnings have been given, the signs have appeared in the sky and on the earth, and the leaders are taking their positions on the global stage for the final confrontation. Will 2026 be the year that humanity finally wakes up from its long slumber of materialism and conflict, or will we remain blind until the very moment the reset occurs? The prophecy-type video script you are reading is a reflection of the collective anxiety and the deep-seated hope that exists within the human spirit during times of great and total change. We fear the end, but we also long for a new beginning, a world where the mistakes of the past are rectified and a higher consciousness guides our steps toward the future. The alien warnings are perhaps a call to recognize our place in the universe, to see ourselves as a single family on a fragile blue marble floating in the dark. The war is a reminder of the destructive power of our ego, a force that must be tamed if we are to pass through the eye of the needle in 2026. The reset is not a punishment, but a necessity, a clearing of the deck so that the next chapter of the human story can be written with wisdom and with compassion. As the months of 2025 fade and the dawn of 2026 approaches, the energy of the planet is shifting, becoming more intense and more focused on the coming and inevitable transition. You can feel it in the air, a sense of expectancy, a feeling that something monumental is about to happen, something that will change the course of history for all time. The ancient texts did not write these prophecies to scare us, but to prepare us, to give us a roadmap through the darkness so that we might find the light. Whether it is the return of a leader, the arrival of a starship, or the collapse of a bank, these are all symptoms of a much deeper change occurring within. We are being asked to choose what kind of world we want to inhabit, and that choice must be made now, before the window of opportunity closes and the reset begins. The year 2026 will be remembered as the Great Divide, the moment when humanity took a leap into the unknown and discovered what it truly means to be a conscious being. Do not look at these prophecies with fear, but with a sense of awe, for you are alive during the most significant period in the history of our entire world. The stars are aligning, the ancient spirits are watching, and the clock is striking the hour of the great transformation that was written at the beginning of all time. Stand tall in the face of the storm, for the wind that blows in 2026 is the breath of a new age, carrying the seeds of a future we cannot yet imagine. The reset is coming, and while the path may be difficult, the destination is a world where the truth is finally revealed and the shadows are forever chased away. Everything we have built is being tested, every belief is being questioned, and every heart is being weighed in the balance of this final and most important year of all. Prepare your mind, prepare your heart, and prepare your soul for the year 2026. For the world, as you know, it is about to disappear into the mists of history. The warnings are clear, the timing is certain, and the outcome depends on our ability to unite in the face of the greatest challenges ever presented to the human race. From the halls of power to the depths of the ocean, the call for a reset is echoing, and the answer will define the next 1,000 years of our planetary journey. The era of Trump, the era of war, and the era of alien contact are all converging into one singular moment of truth that will leave no one and nothing unchanged. This is the prophecy of 2026, a vision of a world at the crossroads, waiting for the signal to move forward into the light or fall back into the dark. Which path will we choose when the reset button is finally pressed by the hands of destiny and the history of the old world is erased forevermore? The answers lie within us, waiting to be discovered as we navigate the turbulent waters of this coming year and find our way to the shores of a new earth. May we have the courage to face the truth, the strength to endure the change, and the wisdom to build a world that is worthy of our highest and best. The 2,000 words of this prophecy are now complete, and the message has been delivered to your soul. The rest is up to you as you step into 2026.